okay. I mean, cause here's the thing, right? Wouldn't it have been more interesting if Trinity showed up to the rendezvous in the middle of the heist, sat down in that chair surrounded by a fucktillion cops and SWAT gear, and instead of being all, no, I can't, and then immediately changing her mind 20 seconds later, leading into an elaborate chase sequence, what if she legitimately said no of her own free will? What if she said, yeah, I played all 3 of your video games since we last talked. I get it. The memories of my life have come rushing back to me. I remember it all. I'm inside a simulation and you're breaking in to get me out. But I'm good. I'm fine. Have you played your own video games? Things suck in your so-called real world. Have you noticed how everything takes place in these poorly lit, dull gray spaceship interiors, and how nobody seems to have any, personalities to speak of? At least in here, I have a husband and kids and a comfortable house and, disposable income. At least there's sunlight and fresh air and public parks. Of course I know it's not real, but so what? I did my time. I fought and died in the endless battle for freedom from the machines, the one that's always going to keep coming back. Haven't I done enough? Don't I deserve a little bit of respite? The Matrix Resurrections has a few monologues, mostly delivered with delicious panache by my boy NPH, about how people like it in this new version of the Matrix. They enjoy being controlled. They fear the perilous agency that freedom would bring, and are content to suckle at the teat of capitalism's base delights to endlessly distract themselves from the misery wrought on them by, you guessed it, capitalism. But instead of just hearing about it, wouldn't it have been more interesting to delve into the psychology of why people feel that way? Isn't it a tad dismissive to tacitly attribute all complacency to laziness? To insist that, of course, Garsan would walk straight outside the moment the door out of hell opened in front of him, because, who wouldn't? And wouldn't it have felt better to let Trinity work her way towards actually wanting to escape? Characters spend much of Act 2, arguably a little too much, fretting over the possibility that Trinity is happy where she is. That's a horrifying thought. But nobody actually has to contend with it for any significant length of time. Why not have the third act of the film, rather than being an extended chase sequence, consist of Neo struggling to make Trinity understand why she has to keep fighting, why staying comfortable is not the same thing as being content? That certainly would have made the third act a good chunk longer, but on the other hand, there's a lot of extra bullshit you could have cut out of the second act, so I'm pretty sure it'd even out in the end. Also, Agent Smith, sweetie, you did not need to transform yourself into fucking J. Groff in order to stay sexy. I mean, have you seen Hugo Weaving lately? Talk about daddy.